Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I thought I would throw together a quick little video since I have the truck in the shop. So it's a nice time to do it. It's kind of been cold and rainy outside, so I figured I would do it inside today. I just have the truck in the shop, throwing the 37s back on it instead of the 35 12.5s with the negative 44 offset. Putting the winter setup back on it. And today we're going to go into 3 main reasons why you should always run your Ram truck of any year with your exhaust brake on. It's something that lots of people are kind of unsure about. I've seen it quite asked on forums and stuff, and new owners, they don't really understand the different modes with it and what they should and shouldn't do. So I figured I would go into a little video and show you 3 main reasons why you should always have it on. So we'll jump in the truck and I'll kind of explain that, and we'll start there. So now I'm inside the truck, and I'm just going to quickly go over the different modes on the exhaust brake for these trucks. There's 2 different modes. There's automatic, and then there's just full exhaust brake. 2 different modes. They have 2 different uses, and they have one's the one that I use most of the time. And I'll kind of explain that, but we'll have to fire the truck up here and I'll show you the 2 different modes. So if you're inside your Ram 2500 or 3500 truck equipped with the 6.7 liter Cummins, this will be your dash. This is a 5th gen. They're similar in the 4th gen. Now you have these buttons over here. They might look different. They might be a push button. They might be a little switch you can flick. It's down usually below your entertainment unit here. So this button right there is your exhaust brake. So if you press it once, you can see it lights up there, and you come over to the dash and you get a full exhaust brake on, and you get this little yellow indicator there. If it focuses, there you go, you can see it. Little yellow indicators. With your full exhaust brake on, what will happen is you'll be driving your truck. Anytime you let off the gas with the full exhaust brake on, your exhaust brake will kick in and open the vanes up on the turbo, create back pressure, slow the engine down. It slows down the truck, and you actually feel it like kind of pulling you forward. If it wasn't dark and if I had a deleted truck, I would show you that. You can actually hear it. There's an audible sound to the exhaust brake working. Deleted vehicles, it's not as easy to, or it's easier to tell. In stock trucks like mine, with the emissions intact, they're a lot quieter. Still a little bit more noticeable, but just being dark, I'm not going to go for a drive tonight. But yeah, so your full exhaust brake is on as soon as you let off the gas. You don't have to touch the brake or nothing, and it'll engage. In winter climates, it's a little bit more dangerous because as soon as you let off, it'll slow you down enough you might actually slide. I've seen that happen a few times. If you're not really paying attention or you're not really ready for it, which is why the next mode I prefer and think is a little better. I live up in Canada. You get winter months half the year. So I'll flip it to the next one. What you want to do is you actually press that button a second time, and I'll show you that now, and I'll show you the message that comes up on the dash. So back down here again, you have the same button again, right? You press that, nothing happens down there, but now you get an automatic exhaust brake on. Comes up on your dash, same thing. You have a little green indicator there. Now it says auto underneath it. Now with your automatic exhaust brake, it's a little bit different than the full exhaust brake. For your automatic, what will happen is if you let off the gas when you're driving, if you maintain the same speed, nothing will happen. The truck will just coast at 40 kilometers an hour, 40 miles an hour, whatever speed you're going, it'll just coast. Now, when the auto exhaust brake kicks in is when you either press the brake pedal. If you say you're towing something or whatever, and you press the brake pedal, you're coming up to a stoplight and you press it, it'll slow the truck down. You'll hear the exhaust brake kick in, you'll feel it. It's a little more aggressive than your brakes and your tires, or at your tires, not on your tires. But it's not gonna just come on its own. It does come on its own, however, if you're towing something or you're going down a hill and it feels the vehicle speeding up without you on the accelerator pedal. So if you were to let off the gas pedal and you're coasting down a hill and you start picking up speed, it'll actually hold you at whatever speed you were at when you let off. So if you let off at 40 miles an hour, it'll keep you there instead of letting you hit like 42, 43 like you normally would. So it's kind of a handy feature. So now that you understand the 2 different modes that you can run it in, I'm going to start by going over 3 different reasons why you should run it all the time, and I'll save the most important one for last. So make sure you watch till the end to see all those. So the first reason that you should always run your Ram truck with the Cummins engine with the exhaust brake on. And this is actually not just for Ram trucks. All these are for every truck. I just explained that as a Ram truck thing because of how, like, I understand the truck. I know where they are. I don't know for sure if all the other trucks have those same modes, but the reasons you should always run it, number one and the least important, is the sound. Anybody who modifies a vehicle understands why you modify the exhaust. If you're running a deleted truck and you have your exhaust brake on, as long as you have the factory turbo or a turbo that maintains a factory exhaust brake, you'll understand when you hear it. If you have a 5-inch straight pipe, 4-inch straight pipe, if you have a 4-inch with a muffler, 5-inch with a muffler, the sound of it is just cool. It's a cool sound. It's different. Guys with gas trucks can't do that. They do sound great. And that's the number 3 reason why you should always run with your exhaust brake on. Not really any other benefits, but it does sound cool. And that'll lead us into the second point. So the second point and the third point that I'm going to bring up, the 2 more important reasons you should always run with your exhaust brake on. The second point that I'm going to bring up right now is definitely as important as the first, and that is that it saves your brakes. If you're running with your exhaust brake on all the time, whether you're like full exhaust brake or you run it in auto like I do, it saves your brakes and it saves you from having to wear your brakes out faster. It's not going to wear your turbo out or anything by running it on all the time, but what it does do is it stops you from wearing your brake pads out, your rotors, none of those. So you shouldn't have to do brakes nearly as often if you can leave it on. And as anybody knows, in heavy duty trucks, Fords, Dodges, Chevys, all of them, they're expensive to do. Like, it's hundreds of dollars to change the brakes. Nobody likes doing that. So it's a huge benefit to try to run it on all the time if it can save you or buy you more time to do $1,000 brake job. Now, I understand brakes are fairly easy to do and you can do them at home, but it's just a pain if you have to do that more often than you need to, where you could just run the exhaust brake and save yourself the headache. And the third, and as far as I'm concerned, biggest reason you should always run your exhaust brake on when you're driving these trucks is because it saves the turbo itself. Inside these turbos, they're VGT turbos, so they're variable geometry turbos, and the vanes actually open and close depending on the exhaust output and what your demand is and everything. And with that being said, there's a little actuator that moves around to open and close those. And lots of times with these turbos, if you're not exercising the actuator and moving the vanes all the time, they'll develop little soot spots, they'll fill up. And what'll end up happening is your VGT turbo will fail ultimately at some point. I was talking in one of my last videos, I think, about how my 2014 4th gen is going in for a new turbo shortly. I'm going to change that to a Fleece Cheetah. So that's something I'm going to do a before and after video. I'll compare those. But it's getting a Fleece Cheetah turbo. But by the time you factor in the cost of the turbo plus the install time, you're looking at thousands of dollars. I think the turbo itself is like $3,000 or $4,000 plus the install time because I don't feel like doing it myself. But at the end of the day, you could have saved that had everybody who'd owned the truck in the past ran the exhaust brake on all the time. Now with my 5th gen truck running it all the time, I'm hoping to save myself some time and not have to wear out that actuator, because you can change the actuators, but at some point in time, the turbos usually follow just because they're not working properly. And if your turbo is all dirty and plugged up because you're running your truck, what'll happen is your actuator, you may change it, you may buy yourself a couple years, and then you'll be doing it again. Actuators alone are over $1,000, I believe. So once again, pretty expensive mistake where all you have to do is run your exhaust brake on. I've seen comments on Facebook and Instagram, YouTube and stuff where guys have got 400, 500,000 kilometers by always running their exhaust brake and having no issues. It's just a cheap, easy warranty that you can do by getting in your truck and pressing the button every time. And if you already have your truck deleted and tuned and everything, you can actually get your tuner, whoever it is, of any kind of tune, to set it up so when you get in your truck, the last spot you left your exhaust brake is going to come back on. So if you run it in auto all the time, you shut your truck off, you go in the house. Right now, for me, I have to press it when I come back out. If you have a tuner that knows what they're doing, they can set it so it comes back on every time. You can go in the house, shut the truck off, 3 days later, come back out, start the truck, boom, your exhaust brake is on. It's quick and easy to do. It sounds good. It saves your brakes. It saves your turbo. It's well worth it. So I hope you guys learned something today. And if you did, definitely drop a like below. And if you guys have any high mileage trucks that you've made it a long ways, I'd like to hear about it. I always want to see how far guys get with 4th gens, 5th gens. I just want to see kind of what to expect and if there's any weird maintenance things that sneak up. But if you guys like the video, if you guys could subscribe too, I'm going to keep kicking out these videos. I'm doing one a week right now, and I'll try to keep pumping them out. And if you guys have any questions or anything you want to see in a video, let me know. But take care, guys, and hope you enjoyed.